Didn't the scripture tell you that the only man who cannot receive from God is the one who is double-minded? You are not sure whether you are blessed or not. You are saying with your mouth that you're blessed, but your consistent thoughts and emotions is telling you that something is wrong with you. Please hear me out. This one I'm going to say the same thing again. Verily, verily, I say unto you. At the base, please hear me out. If you want to note this down. At the base, the most fundamental level, every human being, that is me, that is you, that is our fathers, our ancestors, our children, the Gen Z generation, those to come, at the base level, at the most fundamental level, verily, verily, I say unto you, your experiences, who you are, your outcomes, your personality, your spiritual profile, they are a primary result of your consistent thoughts and emotions. Two things. I want to slow down and say that again. I say to you, your results, your experiences, your outcome, mine, our forefathers, the ones to come, at the base and fundamental level, we are all products of our persistent thoughts and emotions. That's why, thank God, I have a lot of people who read the Bible here. That's why the Bible says that as a man thinks in his heart, that is how that man is. That is why the Bible said one of the most powerful instructions in the Bible is this. It's where it says, guard your heart with due diligence, for out of it flows the issues of life. Guard your heart, not just with diligence, but with due diligence. That is, in all you do, guard your heart with due diligence, for out of your heart flows the circumstances of your life. In fact, if you study the text well, it goes on to explain that what you're experiencing, that is not necessarily your age, neither your environment that dictates your outcome, but what comes out from inside of you. So that's why I say what I'm telling you is spiritually grounded, is socially relevant, and is scientifically proven. Now, science is fast becoming the contemporary language to explain spirituality or mysticism, whatever people want to call it. I want to repeat that again. At the base, fundamental level, I, you, your children, your husband, everybody, right? At the base, fundamental level, at the primary level, we all are products of our persistent thoughts and emotions. I want you to highlight that, thoughts and emotions. So when you hear people say, no, it's not about feeling and stuff like that, that's the biggest lie that has been told. You are what you think all the time and what you feel all the time. Please hear me out. After 25 years of this journey, I've done many things. I left my job at a very upper level, right? When people feel they have arrived, I packed up my bag and I came back to Africa. Why? Because of the things. So the journey has been long and I've done many things. I've done this certifications upon certifications, board certified life coach, trainer this, trainer that, MBTI. I've done all those stuff. I have pastored a church for 7 years. And in the church, amazingly, I hear that people go to church, people collect money from them. I used to give to people. I used to give people money and pay house rent, do all that stuff. And when that wasn't giving me what I was looking for, I thought maybe it's miracles. So we began to walk in that realm, praying for people, for them to get healed and all that stuff. And God kept showing me something. At the end of those stuff, it doesn't really transform people. They go from one state to another. Today they are happy, they got the healing of one thing. Tomorrow they need school fees. Today you pay a house rent. Tomorrow the person needs a house. So, and then God spoke to my ears that, look, this is a journey. Just continue going. And I kept going. So before you see me sit down here, what you are listening to is a conclusion of more than, in fact, I just put 25 years, for that, but it's been more than that. What I'm about to tell you is something that you should take home, think about it, right? And then maybe in another format or stuff, we can talk about this. You cannot prepare yourself. You can't prepare yourself neither can you propel anybody beyond their thoughts and emotions. It doesn't matter how you try. Some of you have spent time trying to change people until what you are saying translates to persistent thoughts and emotions. It's not, listen, it's like, it's like a spring. It's like a spring, right? They want to do good and then they come back to where they are. Listen to me carefully. You cannot propel yourself, neither can you propel anyone beyond the patterns of their thoughts and emotions. Whatever they do, they will come back to that place. Secondly, humanity cannot be propelled higher than we are, except if we elevate our consciousness. And so the things I do is to say the things I know are truth because I have seen them. When I say it, it has to challenge your head. It has to blow your head off. What I'm trying to do is to elevate your consciousness above what you already think and feel. Please hear me out. Please hear me out. You see those two things I mentioned? As simple as it is. Listen, thoughts and emotions are the building blocks of the material universe. This has been proven everywhere. Thoughts and emotions. So you cannot really transform a person unless what you are saying becomes their thoughts and emotion. Otherwise, you can get them excited. That's why motivation never works. You get them excited. Tell them they can kill a lion. They can do this. They can do that. And then they try it a week, 2, 3, and then they go back to. Some of you who are pastors here, you have members who, they get fired up, they confess their sins and stuff like before you know it, they go back to the same thing because it must change. Now, finally, because of time, before I talk just a little bit about community, the development, finally, I want you to hear this and be very clear. I need you to be very, very clear. Now, it will make sense why the scriptures, since I have a lot of Christians here, so if you're not a Christian, it's the same thing. Please understand me. Why the scripture says, fix your thoughts permanently, continually on things that are holy, good, trustworthy, acceptable. And I was like, in fact, that is the method for which we can pray without ceasing. See it, a man whose thoughts and emotion moves, their body will move. Let me tell you this. The results that we are getting is amazing. It's shocking. When you see it, it's shocking. When you see what is going on, when people are able to manifest, bring forth their dreams, people are able to excel more than they have excelled before. Physically, people are healing their physical bodies through the concentration of their thoughts and emotions. I mean, I don't have to say much about that. A lot of you have access to AI tools and stuff like that. So just to give you a quick example, go and use any of those tools and type in and ask, what happens when my emotion is stable? Or what happens when my emotion is always happy? What happens to my body? How does my body react? How does my body react when I have the sense of gratitude? I'm just giving that example. You can go, so I don't have to preach that. You can go and search that. What happens to my body when my emotion is gratitude? It will tell you that your body is designed to release cocktail of chemicals that heals, that transforms, that can reverse aging. Remember, I told you I would tell you things that will shock you, will reverse aging. Some of you who think that you are done, no, your life can begin all over again. And this thing I'm saying is applicable to everyone, every time, everywhere. Now, let me say this quickly because of time. Please, moderator, once I have like 5 minutes, please let me know so yes, I can start. Yeah. Yes, sir. Now, please hear me out very carefully. This is how it began. When you were born, if you recall very well, whatever language that was spoken in that environment, you absorbed that language without formal education. You absorbed it. So if you are from Cross River, whatever they spoke, it's just nobody sat you down and taught you the construct of the language because your brain was soft enough. It absorbed that language. You became a master of that language and it's hardwired. in your brain. That is why it doesn't matter how long or how far you go. When you have opportunity to speak the language, you bring it out again. Now, what is scary and what is truth is that it was not only the language that you absorbed in that environment unintentionally. It wasn't only the language. Every other stimuli that was present in that environment that was heightened, whether it is love or hatred, whether it is fear or pain, whether it was a sense of lack or a sense of not being good enough, whatever was any other stimuli that was present in that environment, you absorbed it and it's hardwired. They dictate, listen to me very carefully, they dictate your automatic character, your automatic response to things. That they dictate it. In fact, it dictates your choice. In fact, it forms the core of your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is active when that's all those days you don't know what you're thinking, you don't know, but you're already thinking. We know that. That's where it comes from. And notice what is hard about it is that, look, it's hardwired. It's hardwired. And let me tell you something. That is why if you see somebody who has a sense of poverty, please hear me out. Please hear me out. I know I'm talking to leaders. You guys are doing a lot to try to get people to do better and do all that stuff. That's why I'm explaining this step by step. Listen, if you encounter somebody whose mindset, whose thoughts and emotions are consistent with lack, poverty. Poverty is not absence of somebody not having anything in their pocket. It's what is going on inside of them. If you encounter somebody who's like that, right? Let me tell you, it does not matter what you do for that person. They will always come back to that place. If you like, give them $1 billion to start a business. Their decisions will be wrong. And let me tell you this. Remember, what I'm telling you is spiritually grounded. Their decisions will be wrong. And heaven and earth will work together to bring them down to that level of thought and emotion that is inside of them. Everything, they will import something, it will get lost, thieves will steal, everything will work together until that money comes back and becomes the same level that they have on the inside of them. So that's why I said, look, I do a lot of things, and before I round off, I'm going to talk about 1 or 2 programs here and there. But you see, it's not complicated. All the stuff that we have been doing, trying to do so, this is at the base of it. This is at the base. I think some of you are coaches here, some of you are pastors, you deal with people. This is at the base of it. No matter what we do, we must first of all get people. Like I said, I don't tell you what to think or what you need to think. If you want, I can tell you that. But the goal is to let you know that you're a product of your consistent thoughts and emotions. These 2 things are the building blocks of the material universe. People are literally standing up from wheelchairs. Blind eyes are opening. People are getting so excited when they realize that inside of them, would it make sense now when Jesus says, if they ask you, the kingdom is here, he said, no, don't look at it, it's inside of you. People are beginning to come up to that reality of what it means that they are architects of the things happening around them. When you see a consistent pattern of things run about around you, go back and pause. And when you finish tonight, go back and pause and take a look at what you think and what you feel always. Don't forget that your thoughts, right? They are the language of the brain. The thoughts are the language of your brain. Your emotions are your feelings. Is the language of your heart. When those 2 things mix together, something happens, whether positive or negative. It will shock you that this is the reason why people keep trying to run away from something and they end up finding themselves in the same thing that they're trying to run away from. I deal with people a lot who all their life, they didn't want to date or have anything to do with a certain category of people. At the end of it all, they end up getting to that place. Why? Because that thing they are running away from is what is in their thoughts and the emotion all the time. And it does not only control your thoughts, your decisions, and your choices. It sets up an energy field or a spiritual field around you. This is why I will end here. Please, this is why. If you listen to what Jesus said, I hope, please, again, this is a teaching. I'm not trying to get you religious. I'm just trying to use that to explain something to you. That's why Jesus said, if anyone, just hear me out. He didn't say Christian, he didn't say anybody. He said, if anyone can say to this mountain, be thou removed from where you are, specific instruction, and be cast into the sea. Notice he's talking about something outside, but quickly he comes back inside and he says, how does it work? And he says, and that man does not doubt in his heart that what he says shall be true. He said he will have it. What is doubt? Doubt is when your thoughts and your emotions are not connected to the same thing. Doubt literally means to have double-minded. There's no agreement. Didn't the scripture tell you that the only man who cannot receive from God is the one who is double-minded? You are not sure whether you are blessed or not. You are saying with your mouth that you're blessed, but your consistent thoughts and emotions is telling you that something is wrong with you. You are singing all the blessing song, quoting all the scriptures, confessing all the time, but your consistent thoughts and emotion tells you, all this stuff. Okay. So, all right. So because of time, I'm going to stop there. And I hope that there will be a time when we have enough time, to go really into the depth of the program. I'm just giving you an overline and something for you to think about. Don't forget, friends, the thing that you're going to do, the only assignment I will give you between today and the next 24 hours, when you go back, when you become unconscious, try to come unconscious and catch your thoughts and emotions and put them on the table and see what they tell you about you and some of the issues that are around you. So, Transform Me Africa is a spiritually grounded and scientific method to help people reprogram their thoughts and emotions. That's basically what the program I run is all about. We call it Transform Me Africa. We call it the science of me innovation. Me innovation. We came up with that word, me innovation. Just like you have science innovation, tech innovation. No, this is me innovation because we need to innovate ourselves. We need to innovate. Me innovation. Me re-innovate ourselves for national, transformation. So that's basically, and Transform Me, by the way, simply means triggering renewal, activating new self for measurable evolution. On the general scale, I'm an author. I have written about these things. I've written about these things extensively. Humanity, listen to me very carefully. Humanity has evolved technology-wise. Humanity has evolved going to space, but notice that the man himself has not really evolved because the same emotion, the same primordial emotions that drove them in those days is what is driving us right now. The same primordial emotions. When you see the president of a great country come out and say, we have more weapons of mass destruction that can wipe out anybody. That behavior, if you observe the animals, please hear me out, if you observe the animals, is the same thing that a chimpanzee will do, a gorilla will do. When he feels threatened, he will inflate his chest and hit the chest to tell you, I got a big chest, man, I will deal with you. Same behavior. So humanity must have an elevated consciousness. And there's no place we need that more than in Africa. I want to put it to you as I round off this evening, that you don't know Africa yet. And I hope another day we get time to talk about that. Because when I tell you, if I tell you now that this Africa is the last hope of humanity, it will shock you. But I know what I'm talking about. The things, when I say things to people, I tell them, give it 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you understand what I'm talking about. That is why what is happening is happening. They have lost it. The redemption of humanity is here. And it begins. Imagine what happened, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, where Africa, with the largest youth population on earth, if you can get them to learn, understand how to focus their mind, to use it to create and give birth to things, to use it to heal their own body. So we have strong-minded people and very good, godly people. Now, final thing, I'll end up here.